Hey everybody, Brandon from Heart's Journey Coaching. Today I want to talk to you about the different types of downtime. Now, there's a very good chance you may be sitting there going, "What? There are different types of downtime?" Yeah, there are. In fact, there are so many different types of downtime, I'm going to be breaking into 3 different categories for you. I might even make this a 2-parter. So let's go ahead and get to it. So let's start with our first category. Our first category is what I like to call physical care. So physical care is pretty self-explanatory. This is anything that you would do to take care of your body. So this could be things like eating, sleeping, bathing, drinking, etc. Now, this is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to be going into a lot of detail. But there is one thing I want you to be really aware of, which is if you're not taking care of your physical self, you're not taking care of your body, that should be a red light for you. Taking care of your physical body is one of the most basic forms of downtime and personal care. If you're not doing that, you may actually want to see a professional because you're engaging in a very destructive lifestyle. And there's a very high chance that somewhere down the road, your body will not keep up. And you'll get something like a stroke or a heart attack, and it will end badly. So be aware of that. Next, let's talk about mental care. So mental care is going to be anything that you do to take care of the mind. This includes things such as veg time, detoxing, and self-nurturing. So let's start breaking that down as well. First, let's look at veg time. So veg time is essentially a downtime that we do whenever we've had a very long day at work or school, and we find ourselves just staring mindlessly at Facebook or watching TV for a long period of time. In many cases, people see this as being very unproductive, but there's actually something going on here. We're actually giving our brains a rest. So let me explain that a little bit further. So studies have shown that our brains actually get tired over time. As we engage in problem solving and in various forms of decision making, your mind actually gets fatigued. What this translates to is that as people start doing more and more things, their mind will actually start making more impulsive decisions. You actually see this being monopolized by things like supermarkets, where if you go into them and you go to the cashiers, there's always large amounts of candy. The reason for this is by the time you went through an entire store, your mind is going to be more tired, and there's a very high chance that you might buy a candy bar if it's placed there. The biggest reason that you would want to engage in veg time is to mitigate this. If you spend too much time making decisions, your decisions are going to become more and more impulsive, and as a result, you're going to make less intelligent, thought-out choices, which will lead to a less overall quality of life. All right, now that we've covered that, let's look at detox time. Now, detox time is a form of downtime we use to address stress. Over time, throughout our given day, we engage in all sorts of things that can generate stress. This could be a job, it could be dealing with kids, various errands you have to do, interacting with people. It varies from person to person. But as we accumulate stress, it actually fills our body with a variety of hormones, including cortisol, adrenaline, and stuff like this. And it will actually break down our body and make us, over time, less capable of dealing with situations. Detox time is essentially time that you set aside to remove this stress and over time be in a better state to tackle life problems. Some obvious forms of detox time are going to be things like TV shows or reading or playing video games, things that we usually do to just relax, but there are actually some other things that are in some ways way more effective. One would be actually doing an activity that you have a high level of skill in. This could be a sport, this could be playing an instrument, doing some sort of craft, something that you have a lot of experience in, and doing it just tends to put you in this, what we like to call flow, where you just become very present, very relaxed, very in control of the situation, and you let go of anything that you've been thinking about lately and you're just in that moment. Another form of really good detox time is actually cuddling. If you have a partner or someone you're close to, or even if you just have some good friends that you like to sit around with, being around people who replenish your energy and make you feel comforted and at peace will generally help you a lot. Our stress response is actually built to release a hormone, oxytocin, which then encourages us to go and find people to bond with and address the stressors that we're currently experiencing. Lastly, we have self-nurturing. Now, self-nurturing is an awful lot like detox time. They both deal with stress. The difference with self-nurturing is intended for situations where you're feeling a particularly high level of stress, where you're hitting a point where you may even be near a complete breakdown of some kind, where you're going to be crying or you're going to be very upset and you're just feeling like you're falling apart. Usually this can happen from a number of reasons. One of them would be obvious things like breakups or very harsh arguments between loved ones, things like that. But it can also happen over time from a very busy schedule and just all the things you're dealing with gradually wearing you down and causing you to fall apart. The most important part of self-nurturing is the idea of that you're in a state of emotional vulnerability. You've put yourself out of your comfort zone too far for too long. And so there's a need to retreat back into that comfort zone and recover. Some of the easiest ways that people do this is actually something we see as a cliche in TV shows and movies, where somebody will have a horrible breakup and their best friend will come over with a tub of ice cream to watch some movies. The idea is really just that you need to get yourself in a space where you're taking care of yourself. You're expressing self-love, you're making sure that your needs are addressed, you're putting yourself first, and you're engaging in some form of nurturing. This can be, in some cases, the classic things such as comfort food or taking a day off for yourself, but it doesn't even necessarily have to be that. Sometimes it's just giving yourself some recognition. Recognize all the things you've been putting up with, all the things you've been dealing with, how well you've handled it. The important part is to engage in some form of appreciation, so that way you're staying in a good state of being. Alright guys, so this video is actually getting already kind of long, so I'm going to actually wrap it up here. I hope this was very useful for you guys, and next week we'll go into the second half of this, where I'll start talking about mental processing and also the different questions that you might have regarding downtime. So I hope this was very useful for you guys, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Especially, I would love to hear some comments and thoughts about different videos you'd like me to cover, or what you thought about this video. So, hope you have a nice day, and take care.